What is the biggest lie people are told about network marketing?
Be rich in no time.
What is it?
It's very false. The man who introduced me to the network marketing business showed me his pay stubs. He said, "How much do you make where you work?" I said, "Around $350. He said, "Well, here's what I make every week."
How much did they mention?
$1,600,000. I can go to my boss and tell him I'm not working anymore. That's that I found the right business. 3 months later, my first bonuses arrive, 8,000 francs. I said, "Well, 8,000 times 81, that gives 600,000. I take a screenshot of the 8,000. I send it to him and say, "Here it is." He says to me, "How did you manage to get 600,000? The truth is that I had 8,000 francs, but they made me believe it was 600,000.
What do people who ask you to commit 100% to a gain by lying to you?
Because you need to work so they can earn. Can you explain to us the reality?
Do you think that in business proof is important?
In network marketing, it's important. Especially in Africa, when people didn't see, they didn't believe. What really brings money in marketing?
What would you say to someone who is asleep? Wake him up. He must.
I think he should keep sleeping. Yeah, until he's hungry, because he's not truly hungry yet.
By promoting products that come from China, aren't you killing the African economy? One day I spoke with a super wealthy gentleman, and I realized he kept training himself, he kept going to conferences, he kept reading books. I asked him a very simple question. With all your billions, how is it that you keep learning? He answered me with a simple sentence, "Valère, today I no longer seek money for myself, but I seek money so that my great-grandchildren may never have money problems." And that is the mindset one must have. And from all those experiences with my team at Argent Editions, we worked on a book titled The Poor Are Selfish, which is a book that works on the mindset you need to have to achieve a prosperity mindset. Because Argent Live is first and foremost a publishing house that to date has worked with more than 218 authors. And among the books we've been working on, I'm going to introduce you to a second banger. It's the book titled Les Marabouts se battent de Marabouts Faits. So for all those interested in stories that are a bit mystical, a bit esoteric, a bit metaphysical, this is Maurice Sagg's book, which depicts the true reality of a woman who arrives home and realizes that a family member has cast a spell on her, and from there it becomes a descent into hell. It's a true story that I invite everyone to read, because whether it concerns us or not, it concerns someone close to us. Anyway, those are the two bangers I recommend for this month. You can find them on our website, argentlive.com, or by clicking the link right in the description of this video.
Plume d'Elite, the program from Argent Livre, is publishing that turns your dream into reality. In 28 days, we guide you through writing your book. Then we handle the publishing and promotion. Join us and share your story with the world. Go to argentlivres.com.
What is a good leader to you? A good leader is someone who does before asking others to do. Who is the example of what they are asking others to do?
And why is leadership so important when doing MLM? I think that Africans, when it comes to MLM, haven't really understood it well.
And for me, I don't see the way MLM is done today as how it should be done, because many people who do it are people who are generally into posturing.
Oh, yes.
Like, I earned this, I achieved that, it pays millions, etc. But deep down, do they embody what they say? Are they the example of what they say? There are many negative examples in that regard. For me, MLM shouldn't be like some sort of boss-employee relationship. It should be, here is what I want us to do, here is what I have already done, and here is what I wish for us to do. Meaning that a person who does MLM and tells people to do something must have done it at least 10 times more themselves.
Oh, yeah.
If they say go sell, it means I have already sold so much that I am an example of a good salesperson, and I send you to do it.
So guys and girls, we're going to speak freely because since he does MLM, I won't go easy on him. Anyway, my personal person, I hope you're doing well and that good things are coming your way. As you've gathered, today we are hosting Marcel. Marcel is the author of 3 books, but the one we're going to discuss at length is The Secret of Leaders. But I'll introduce the other 2 books because you never know. Besides that, we have The Power of the Internet and, lastly, My Path to Success. They say you have to learn from others. So those are the 3 books Marcel has written. But I'm going to focus only on this one. So once again, we're here with a new guest on this podcast. And since the common thread between our guests is always the fact that they've written a book, we're going to follow the usual rule. I'd like to remind you that this August 8th and 9th, 2026, we'll meet at the Starland Hotel in Bastos for the 5th edition of the Writers' Weekend in Cameroon, and we're going to do something exceptional. You'll tell me in the comments at the end of the podcast if you want Marcel to be a speaker at the 2026 Writers' Weekend. You are the ones who will decide. I think we're going to put that in place now. It's the internet users who will decide who they want to see as a speaker for the Writers' Weekend. Now we're counting on you. There you go. You're the ones who will decide. We aren't opposing anything more. So if you want to know more, we'll put everything in the first comment or in the video description. And I'd like to remind you that this year, once again, we're going to innovate because we're also planning a talk show. Of course, the talk show always depends on the speakers we have. There will be a talk show on real estate. Real estate, that's confirmed. Now, what kind of talk show do you want to see about romantic relationships? Are you asking us for a talk show on entrepreneurship? Tell us in the comments as well, and we'll see what needs to be done. We will do what is necessary to organize all of that. But if you are an author, a writer, or if you wish to write a book, we are available at +336 2458 9074 or by email at argentlif@gmail.com. Also, we'd like Marcel. You wish to participate in this podcast, contact us at the same references and we'll be happy to get back to you. Now that all of this is said, I couldn't start this episode without thanking Adamu in the control room, without whom we couldn't have recorded this and managed all the logistics here. Many people have contributed. There is Armand Bate, there is Moïse Aboubakar, and backstage, Marcel didn't come alone. His whole team is here. And of course, backstage, we have Joel, who we've been working with for several years, who designs our complex book covers. So there you have it. And of course, in a few days, we will host a lady who wrote a book about the secrets of big brands. Anyway, I won't say any more. Now that it's said, we can welcome our guest. Hello, Marcel.
Hello, Valet. How are you doing?
No, I'm doing well. I am doing very well. I ate some koki today.
I see.
My friend Ahmed brought me the kilishi. It had been at least 10 years, so I'm doing well. That's all good.
Mama knows me the Kalishi.
But there you go. We need to sort out the problem with Mar. We'll see about that later.
I'm going to ask you the question I ask almost all my guests. I really hope to get the best answer from you.
Agreed.
Because when you say MLM, it necessarily means you interact with a lot of people. So what has MLM taught you about human beings?
It's a very timely question because I recently experienced a lot of turbulence in my personal life due to the fact that I do MLM to a book. I am still emotional while talking about it because I am just barely recovering from a wound.
MLM is?
Wait, he said wound. We love things like that. So you have to tell us about the wound. Okay. Agree. It works.
MLM for me is an activity for people who love to help others. When I discovered this activity, it was in 2020. 21. After many problems, as I was already told with many lies, but as I understood it, after having learned through pain, I realized that it was an activity that fit my personality because by nature I love to help people. The fact of having practiced it and still practicing it today allows me to truly combine what I love with business. You're in a business where you have to help people, and that brings you money. I expanded on that a bit. I went a little beyond my own team. I started asking myself why I couldn't share my skills and my knowledge. I began helping many people who weren't on my team, and I coached others. That's why I travel so much. I work with everyone, regardless of their team, because in this field, many people work behind closed doors. And very recently, I've started taking a lot of heat. Maybe it's because of my aura, the fame, and everything. So a lot of criticism to the point where people started telling their teams, watch out for this guy, don't listen to what he says, stop following him, and so on. I asked myself, what's the problem? Helping people. What's the problem with having a skill and wanting to pass that skill on to others? And I came to the final conclusion that human beings are complicated.
Oh, yes.
Very complicated.
What do you mean by complicated?
By complicated, I mean a lack of understanding.
Mm.
I mean the difficulty of putting yourself in someone else's shoes, and that might be the real problem with people. It's like we say back in the village, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And that is really something I don't understand about human beings. When doing things, couldn't we for a moment put ourselves in the place of the person taking the hit to see the intensity of the pain? So I tell myself, it would be very difficult to understand human beings, but you have to deal with it.
But you have to live with it. What was my... If I had to introduce you, and let's say we set aside the word humility, which Cameroonians don't have much of, and we deactivate the word modesty, how would you introduce yourself then?
My name is Marcel Mencom. I am an electrician. I used to cut the power for people who hadn't paid.
No, really?
That was my job. And I am a network marketing professional, and I use the internet to boost my results in network marketing. I have written 3 books, The Power of the Internet, The Secret of Leaders, and My Path to Success. Because I believe that when you have found the procedure to accomplish something, you must write it down so that those who come after you can do it without you.
Excellent. That is exactly the logic we align ourselves with. You mentioned earlier that you've been stabbed in the back. Hurt.
Yes.
What is the stab in the back that hurt you the most?
It's the fact of wanting to do good, and that the good is not seen as good, or that people don't see it the right way. Maybe because your light overshadows them.
Well, we like details around here. Can you tell us the story behind it? How did it happen? Who's involved?
I went to Togo for an event for which I had reached out, and it's my habit whenever I go to a country, I contact the network marketing leaders in that country. I say, I want to do something there. I would like us to do it together. And when I arrived, effectively, after having agreed with the guys I was supposed to work with there, I arrived and I organized the event. I told the guys, okay, I'm here. How do we proceed? Send me the photos. I will make the flyer. I will do visual for it. Yeah. Well, really, I heard that you said on a show that you're coming to train us. We are already trained. We already know these things. And the guys organized a conference on the same day as mine. At the same time. With the same target audience.
But in itself, is that bad?
But I think that if we had done it together, it would have had more impact.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But they could also see it as, the Cameroonian coming to our place to take our market share. Exactly. Exactly.
And that is what I understood, and I said to myself, that is indeed the problem. And I think that if we look at life that way, we would still be like what we were taught from childhood.
Yeah.
You have to hide your homework.
No, but they're protecting their market too.
I agree. But I will take the case of Cameroon.
Yes.
We have 30 million inhabitants. And can I prospect 30 million people?
No, but the question is, are there 30 million people who are qualified prospects?
Can I prospect 100 million people? Can I prospect 1 million people?
It's up to you to tell us. We don't know your capacity.
I am not capable of doing that because if I have to prospect 1 million people, I wouldn't be able to provide the substance needed. I need to be able to prospect as few as possible to really give what is needed so that they too can prospect more people. And I think that the network marketing market is open to everyone, every country. Given that no one is a prophet in their own land, I realized that what works best for me is abroad. Oh, yes. Yes, the best. The best?
Yeah.
The best. So when I go walk in the streets here, very few people know me.
Oh, yes.
And it's difficult for me to walk around in foreign countries.
Oh, yes.
To you, what explains that? Because all Cameroonians, in quotes,
I think it's not just Cameroonians, but it's everywhere. Exactly, it's everywhere because I saw a French woman talking about it in a podcast who said, yeah, it's true.
that's true.
Who said that her own peers don't buy her products,
That's true. That's true.
but foreigners do.
Yes.
So having understood that, I think the best thing to do is to go abroad. So coming back to the subject, I think what we should have done was to get together, and I think that if we get together and there's a conference we have to organize, if we have 1,000 people in the room and I only have 10 people in there, those 10 people won't know that I only invited 10 people. And so if we all get together, we will be able to do it in... the problem is not at that level. The problem is that, okay, do your thing on the side, but don't smear my name. Don't tell people not to go there because he's going to do this to you, because he's going to do that to you. Having returned to Cameroon, I realized that people for whom I had a lot of esteem already beginning to distrust me.
Oh, really? They distrust you in what sense? Do they think you are a sorcerer, or do they think you are someone?
No, they tell themselves. I think they tell themselves I'm too well known.
Ah.
Too well known. Because the word that comes up most is don't listen to him. Actually, people listen to you more than they listen to us. People on my team listen to you more than they listen to me.
Okay.
I'd like to be able to talk to them too. It's like they feel your light is casting a shadow on theirs.
You stole someone's leadership. But honestly, my goal was to support them so they could grow. And when they grow with you, not with me. Understand?
Yeah, I see very well. I see exactly what you mean. So we're gonna backtrack a bit. At what point did I tell you that you said you were an electrician. You were the one cutting our power. So they waited for me on the pole with the machete. At what point did I tell you to get into MLM? What happened?
In pain. In 2020, during COVID, I was getting ready to go to work because after being out in the field cutting power, I climbed the ranks until I became technical director. Being the technical director. One morning, I'm heading to work. So I had already put on my jacket. I was supposed to go. I get a message on WhatsApp from someone I recruited who tells me I shouldn't come to work anymore.
From someone you recruited, a subordinate?
Signed by the boss.
It's the subordinate who tells you.
Who sends me the message on WhatsApp. A note signed.
On WhatsApp on that.
A note signed by the boss. I am the second in command of the company. And I'm informed that because of COVID, I must stay home. After that, I start the procedures to seek compensation and all that. And finally, we agree that, well, to avoid trouble, they'll give me the company car, put it in my name, and I can do what I want with it. Finally, I start dropping off my resume everywhere, and everywhere I go to drop off my resume, they tell me, you're overqualified. We can't hire you. We already have a technical director. Your resume is also very heavy. Personally, I think that was the problem. At one point, I searched so much that I scaled down my CV. I said, well, I just want an electrician position like I had at the start. Find me something. And I still find anything for practically 6 months. Finally, I told myself yes. I left Yaoundé and went to Douala. I searched, I dropped off applications everywhere. And finally, I told myself, I said, mouths to feed at home. When a child goes to school, he doesn't try to know why dad isn't working. You have to provide. Anyway, he's not responsible for the fact that he was born. So I take the company car. I start driving an unlicensed taxi in the city of Yaoundé and saying, You get in, I take you, you pay for all that. I do pickups and everything.
Pickups.
And that allows me to get 5,000, 10,000. I ration quietly and life can start again. One morning, I go to where I parked the car. It had been stolen.
This car theft business, you could go crazy. It's something only someone who has lived through it can understand. You can find yourself going to lift up a rock to look for
Look for your car. Like maybe it's under that rock. It's a crazy thing.
Terrible. So I go back down lower than you. I remember that in 2020, while I was still in the heat of the action, someone had talked to me about relationship marketing, and I see him Facebook with checks, and then I see him on a plane because it was someone who had come, whom I had employed. For a while, he worked with me. I paid him $35,000. Afterwards, he disappeared. And sometime later, I think his prospecting method wasn't very good because he comes to tell me that I have to sell products. I'm going to become rich. And so I looked at him. I said, "Kid, why don't you rich yourself?" So I moved on. And then when I saw his progress, being that I had no solution, I asked him the question, finally, "Man, does that business of yours still work?" He says, "It's exactly as I had explained to you." You see, that's how I started. That's January 2021. I start the activity because I really have no other solution.
There's nothing.
It was just that which I could do. Unfortunately, as I was starting, I was told that I would make money very quickly. And at the time I started, the company NAO recommended me to a firm because I had done some very good work there. They recommended me to a company that decided to hire me as technical director, paying me $350,000 during the 3-month trial period. And the gentleman who introduced me to the network marketing activity showed me his earnings. He said to me, "How much do you earn where you work?" I said, "I'm around $350." He said, "Well, here is what I earn every week."
About how much were they talking?
He showed me what he earns every week.
How much roughly?
It was around 20 to 30, 50,000 every week. Except that when I looked, he told me that it wasn't the currency, it wasn't the CFA franc. It's the yuan. And since it was written with the digits, with it being written in Chinese, I said, "Okay, well, what do we do?" He told me, "You'll take the 20,000 you see and multiply it by 81. So that it gives you the amount of CFA franc. You do 20,000 by 81, it makes 600,000. 600 franc. I looked at the little one I had hired. I looked at 600,000. 1,000 died. I said, "Well, can I have my boss?" I said, "I'm not working anymore." Yes, that I'd found the right business. Except that 3 months later, my first bonuses arrive, 8,000 francs. I said, "Well, 8,000 by 81 gives 600,000. He starts to smile. I told my guy, "Well, how can I access the money?" He says to me, "No, calm down. Wait. It's money. Keep fighting. It will be all right." I said, "My brother, I have problems. I have a family to feed. I have difficulties. I have debts everywhere." That was 600,000. You told me to calm down, Cal. How do I calm down? He says, "No, really, you shouldn't. You must calm down. It will come. A lot will come." I said, "My brother, I want the money." And I insisted so much, I looked for someone who was above him, who was above him. I said, "Well, I have my 600,000 in your company. I'm going to get it. Give me my money. I'm going to get it." He said, 600,000, how? Because as he was above the other, he saw my work. He knew that I couldn't have 600,000. He said, "How'd you get 600,000? And I said, "But I'll take a screenshot of the 8,000, send it to him, and tell him, here it is." He says to me, "How did you manage to get 600,000? Do you realize that you think you have 600,000 francs when it's only 8,000 francs on the way? The truth is that I had 8,000 francs,
CFA francs.
but I was made to believe it was 600,000 francs.
Ah, so wait. Does that mean that when the gentleman told you that 20,000
Times 81 to get the actual amount, it was false?
What a great start that was.
Wow. I don't know if you can imagine the shock,
the disappointment?
Can you imagine the pain? I told someone who was supposed to pay me 350,000 a month that I was resigning to go get 8,000 francs after 3 months.
It hurts.
That was my start in network marketing.
And you had resigned?
Yes.
That was 3 months later. What do I do? Do I go back there and say, well, I was wrong, I made a mistake, I'll start over? So I try to understand what I got myself into. I try to understand where I ended up. And while trying to understand, I ask myself, what made me get 8,000 francs? See, that's how I began to truly learn network marketing. And when I understand what gave me 8,000 francs, I ask myself a question. If I do 10 times what gave me 8,000 francs, would I have 80,000 francs? The answer is try it and see. I tried, and indeed I got 80,000 francs. I said, if I do 100 times, would I have 800,000 francs? I tried, and it worked. That's how I truly launched myself fully into network marketing.
And how long did it take for you to multiply it?
It took about 1.5 years.
Only 1.5 years?
Well, because I had gone on the internet and into the field. It's really not easy.
Yes.
It's not easy. And then everything you were told at the beginning, when you're in reality, you realize it's false.
It's false. What is the biggest lie that people repeat about network marketing?
You'll be rich in a little while.
What is that?
It's false.
It's very false. Network marketing is entrepreneurship. It is entrepreneurship. If you don't fail as an entrepreneur, how would you know there is a path to success? What they tell people is that as soon as you start, they'll tell you to drop what you're doing, dedicate yourself 100% to this thing, and you dedicate yourself 100% to this thing, having left behind everything you were doing before.
But what do the people asking you to dedicate yourself 100% to it gain by lying to you?
Exactly because you have to work and they will earn money.
Can you explain to us?
The fact that I am on someone's team and whether I am experienced or able to take action in the field, my actions profit the person who brought me in. Okay. So if I take action, they earn money. If I don't take action, they don't earn money.
Exactly. It's in their best interest for you to take action.
And for me to take major action, they have to sell me something that will make me leave my comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So it's this selling the dream lever that is used a lot to recruit people.
So I'd like to say that's why they often offer you trips to Dubai with all the glitz and glamour.
Unfortunately, that's not it. The companies that do this or the companies that run network marketing don't give them away. These aren't companies that lose money. These are companies offering you rewards or incentives. It means they put you on a challenge, saying you have such and such amount of time to reach a certain revenue target. If you reach the revenue target within that time, they offer you what they promised. And so even the trip they offer you, when you look at the revenue you generated, it makes sense that they offer you something of that nature.
We're talking about MLM, but if you had to explain MLM to a 10-year-old child,
What would you tell them? What is MLM?
I'm going to break down. Network marketing. In network marketing, there is marketing. In marketing, there is market, meaning the marketplace. In the market, we sell a product or a service. Network implies relationships. We sell a product or a service to someone we know. Now, network marketing is that you know someone who has a product and you know someone who needs the product. You connect them and you get a commission.
Right. And my question will be, well, it will come gradually. The relationship marketing you're in, what exactly do you sell as a product?
Daily consumer goods.
What do you include in?
Soap, toothpaste, body lotion, cream, everything for the skin, for hair, everything for women's intimacy, dietary supplements, health.
I have done some research regarding relationship marketing. I've read a lot of books on it because at one point I even wanted to start it too. What really makes money in relationship marketing?
The relationship.
The relationship.
Yes.
How so?
The money you're looking for is in the pockets of the people you know.
Yes, but that's valid even in trade, that's exactly what trade is.
Why would you want relationship marketing to be different from trade?
If I sell books, am I doing relationship marketing?
You can do relationship marketing.
No, but I'm saying if I sell books, I don't think I'm part of an MLM network.
You can do it. Let me give you an example. The secret of leaders, I can decide that every person who recommends this book to someone, as soon as the person buys the book, I give them a commission.
Commission.
Do you know there's a referral program at Orange?
Oh, yes.
Do you know about the referral or affiliate program at MTN? Do you know about the referral program at Yango?
Yeah, the referral. Yes, I see.
Almost all companies are launching into affiliate systems.
Yes.
Why? Because they understood that word of mouth is the most powerful sales weapon. Relationship marketing is precisely word of mouth. That means you don't need to have a physical product. You know someone who has the product. You know someone who needs the product. You connect them.
Well, do you want to tell us the name of your MLM network?
The MLM network I'm a partner with is called Longrich.
Longrich. And Longrich sells mainly products that come from, I don't know, China. You're wearing notable attire there.
Is it that by selling MLM, I'm going to ask the uncomfortable question, okay?
Yes.
By promoting products that come from China,
Aren't you killing the Cameroonian economy?
and by extension, the African economy.
All right.
Did you think you would see this question coming?
Oh, I am used to this question.
The answer is simple. Where does the money I get from the Chinese go? No, not the money. Don't take money from the Chinese.
I earn money, the Chinese person pays me.
Yes, but you earn money because they make a profit.
Worse. Now the money I earn, what do I do with it? If I hadn't had the opportunity to earn money from the Chinese, would I be wearing this outfit? It's Faso de Anfani. It comes from
Burkina Faso. Yeah. But that is microeconomics.
Let me take another example. We use a phone to do everything we do. The devices we use, they come from elsewhere. The clothes, for the most part, come from elsewhere.
Come from elsewhere, we agree?
I was in China. I saw a Chinese temple built with bubinga wood. A Chinese temple built with bubinga, a wood that comes from eastern Cameroon, prohibited for exploitation by Cameroonians. A Chinese temple built with bubinga, why is it not a problem that they take the wood to build with it at their place? Why can't their products come in here?
For us, it's very good because it allows us to bring in foreign currency. But when we overconsume what comes from outside, it makes us lose. For us, them taking bubinga is good for us.
Yes, I agree. So when their product arrives here, doesn't it bring added value to the people who recommend these products or who use them? I'll take another example. I don't know if you've ever noticed that everything I wear, most of the time is African.
Yes, I noticed.
Especially SM.
Just today, I didn't wear the hat.
Especially SM. Yes. Everything I advocate in Cameroon or in Africa is made in Africa. Now, I have a project to build a factory.
Mm.
And to finance this factory, I need to have cash. So that I can have cash, I found a way to do relationship marketing. Because with everything I had to do, I couldn't find any solutions.
Mhm.
Now, the factory I'm going to build, financed by the earnings I got from the Chinese, won't that add value?
Yes, it would add value.
Did I have an opportunity I could have seized that would have allowed me to set up this factory elsewhere? Which one, for example?
Oh, no, do you have it? No, not necessarily. It's for you to tell me. I don't know.
I'll tell you. After I lost my job, I started network marketing. But I also started a business with a brother,
Yes.
and the brother unfortunately didn't understand business very well.
How business works?
Because I had studied management.
Yeah.
I was a technical director. I managed practically everything in the company. So it was a similar company. We had to buy, we got together, and then we said we'll do 50-50. My brother confused revenue with profit. Generally, that ends badly. And when I try to explain myself, they tell me it's because I've been to school too much. Meaning we generated a turnover of 30 million. He tells me to divide that by 2 and give him his share. He wants his share, I have to divide it. And he writes a note saying, well, here's the calculation. We'll divide it like this. You owe me this much. You owe me this much. And in the end, the whole family takes his side.
Yes, because the family doesn't understand anything about business.
Because while I'm doing business with him, I'm also doing the Longrich business. And I'm making progress with Longrich, which means I'm going to take the trip to Dubai. I'm going to take the trip to China. I'm going to open an office. I'm going to buy a car. So they say that that money allowed you to achieve everything we're seeing here. Is our brother's money? So he's right, because when he says, here is my money that the guy owes me, and look, this is what it's become, and no one understands that I had to do
Things in parallel.
so much pressure that I finally find myself saying, okay, if I want peace, I have to pay 7 million francs to my brother. Something that I don't owe him. That's a business I got into with a brother. It didn't work out. I tried many other businesses. They didn't work out. Now I take a picture of a product. I go online. I run ads. I start selling. People start buying. It generates income for me. This income, which I consider to be profit, allows me to launch businesses. Did the Chinese person help me or not? Why should I see these products as competition or as something that isn't good for Africa when it's what allows me to have money to start my businesses in Africa? It's what allows me to have the money to dress in SM. It's what allows me to have the money to buy everything I buy that is made in Africa.
I'm asking this question because it's important that you provide an answer.
Indeed, I understand. So what I think is that we must look at these companies as opportunities to allow us to have cash flow to develop our countries.
Either way, you have to start somewhere.
Of course. And precisely because it's Chinese companies that allowed me to go to China, and in China I discovered so many things that allow me to do many other things to bring in money.
Excellent. And today in your network, how many people do you have roughly?
I have 3,000 people, almost all of whom have quit.
Ah, yes. That means we have a problem with the leader there.
Indeed, I had many problems. And I think that many people don't talk about them much because we always want people to see the great part of the network marketing business. But I had many problems. The first problem I had was that I was selling alone.
Online. And I was the only one with the skills. I tried to train many people who couldn't get the hang of it, and unfortunately, I always ended up alone answering messages, doing the work, and so on. One day I spoke with a super rich gentleman, and I realized that he continued to train himself, he continued to go to conferences, he continued to read books. I asked him a very simple question. You, with all your billions, how come you still continue to learn? He gave me a very simple answer. Valet, today I'm no longer seeking money for myself, but I'm seeking money so that my great-grandchildren never have money problems. And that is the mindset you need to have. And from all those experiences with my team at Argent Edition, we worked on a book titled The Poor Are Selfish, which is a book that actually works on the mindset you need to have to achieve a prosperity mindset. Because Argent Livre is first and foremost a publishing house that to this day has worked with over 218 authors. And among the books we've worked on, I'm going to introduce you to a second banger. It's the book titled When Marabouts Fight. So for all those interested in stories that are a bit mystical, a bit esoteric, a bit metaphysical, this is the book by Marie Sag that depicts the true reality of a woman who arrives home and realizes that one of her family members has cast a spell on her. And from there, it's a descent into hell. It's a true story that I invite everyone to read, because whether it concerns us or not, it concerns someone we know. Anyway, those are the two bangers I recommend for this month. You can find them on our website, argentlivre.com, or by clicking the link right in the description of this video.
Plume d'Elite, the program from Argent Livres that turns your dream into reality. In 28 days, we guide you through writing your book, and then we handle the publishing and promotion. Join us and share your story with the world. Head over to argentlivre.com.
It was draining me. At one point, I saw the way things were being done, and I said to myself, I have to do something. I have to contribute my part. I have to, because if I don't do something, we will continue to divide ourselves, and in the end, the Chinese will gain much more from us.
Yes. Because it is the Chinese money after all. If we draw a lot from that, we can do many things with it. People were dividing themselves a lot. People were creating clans, teams, and all that. I told myself, what if we stopped working each in our own corner and got together? I think we would earn better. I started training people for free, training more people, bringing in more people. While I was training them, my teams felt neglected, and most gave up. Yes. For 2 years, I tried to, because I'm not a big spender, so I think you have to accumulate, you have to reinvest what you earn. When I earned, I reinvested. In 2022, you talk about the 300 million video. In 2022, I achieved a turnover of 100 million with my team. We sold 100 million worth. The Chinese company gave me a check to buy a car for 800,000 francs. But I didn't buy the car. That's one of my first problems. Because it was said everywhere that I won the car, but people still see me taking motorcycles, illegal taxis, and all that. And then, well, people think, when I come to say that it pays for cars, they say, well, you said it pays for cars. It's true. So you don't have a car, how come? I remember I prospected a very high-ranking lady, and she told me where her house was. Because I had to come present the products to her, she told me where her house was. She told me, come this way, come that way, but I don't see your car. I said, I'm in a taxi. She said, but... She said, so you're coming to lie to me?
I was told you were a wholesaler and that you won cars. Where's your car? I tried telling her I took that money to buy products, but she didn't buy it. Didn't work.
It didn't work. And that meant many people didn't trust me during that period. I was forced with this second check to actually buy the car. So people would say, well, you see, and it caused me a lot of harm. I shouldn't have bought the car.
Yeah, because the car's an expense.
I should have reinvested. So the first check, I bought products with it. My bonuses, I accumulated. I bought products with them. 2022, 2023, I accumulated. I bought products, and I became a wholesaler in Yaoundé. In 2024, I lose all the products.
How do you lose all the products?
They were stolen.
They stole your car. Your products, go cleanse yourself in the village. That's way too serious?
How did they steal your products?
I lost nearly 90% of my team members. Almost all the products were stolen from me. I had to start my business over from scratch. And that's when I said we don't talk enough about the difficulties, because the hardships I went through, some people have lived through worse. Some, but they still keep saying that.
You must not give up.
And it was those difficulties that allowed me to understand what my problems were and help me look for solutions. And today I have set up a system that allows me to solve all those problems. So first, a system using artificial intelligence and automation tools. I set up a system that ensures I can prospect even when I'm not there. That other people can prospect even when I'm not there. That my presence is no longer
An element.
a fundamental element for the network to function. Because I realized I was the only one winning. That was another problem. I was the only one qualifying for cars and trips. That was another problem. And so I don't really consider those as failures. I consider them as steps that allowed me to learn because it enabled me to put something solid in place.
There you see, with the car business, you raise a big problem, that of social proof. Do you think that in business, social proof is important?
In relationship marketing, it's important, especially in Africa, because we are like doubting Thomas. And when people don't see, they don't believe. Today, the notoriety I have allows me to easily ensure that people trust me naturally. But at the start, when I told someone that it makes money, they would look me up and down and say, but Marcel,
You look like money, huh?
Marcel, go get it. Come back first. Today, no member of my family does this activity. None. Because at the beginning, when I explained it, I was too ugly, too poor to talk about wealth.
Yeah.
Now it's that I'm in a cult. So finally, I don't know which side to position myself on anymore. So I just let it go, and finally I devote myself to people who don't know me, because those who know you judge you by your appearance. If you are too handsome, they say you are too handsome. You are too ugly, they say you are too ugly. But someone who doesn't know you has nothing to judge you by. Either they take your word for it, or they do their research and can contact you later.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one thing I've noticed, huh? In network marketing, it's that you do a lot of personal development courses.
Yes, indeed. Because it's hard. Everything is hard. It's a very difficult business. Convincing someone isn't easy.
That's true.
Sales is difficult.
Very difficult.
Except the people we recruit into this business aren't told the truth from the start.
What is the truth we should be telling them instead?
The truth is that it's difficult. The person needs to know that before starting.
But doesn't that risk losing a lot of people?
If you gain a lot of people who haven't understood anything, they will quit like the people I recruited. They need to know from the start that it's difficult, to prepare themselves mentally for the difficulty, and when they encounter difficulties, they won't give up. That's why we do a lot of personal development, so they understand that it's difficult.
What is personal development to you?
To me, personal development is the ability to enable someone to discover the best version of themselves, to know their full potential, or even to ignite the light within them to be able to excel. Someone once said that most people die without discovering 10% of their true genius.
And when we talk about personal development, what is the best lesson you have learned yourself when it comes to personal development?
I read Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill. And it's a book that was written way back in the 1800s. Very good. Today, when you read the book, it still applies to real life today. If someone spent 25 years studying rich people and wrote a book about wealth, and when you read it, you understand, And when you try to do what it says inside, you see the results. If it was written in the 1800s and it still works today, it means there's something to it. It means there is something in it. It means that every entrepreneur should normally start there first. It's the foundation. How do we put it? A paradigm shift.
So yes, my question was precisely, what is the best lesson you received from that book then?
It's that the things that happen to me today depend entirely on me. If I have failed somewhere, it is my own responsibility. If I have succeeded, it is my own responsibility. No one will come and do things for me. Unfortunately, we're in Africa, and people spend their time counting on their uncle, the government, their brother, or opportunities. People I met someone who told me he was waiting for the, what was it? The 25,000, that recruitment we did before. He told me he was waiting for that. I said, are you crazy?
You are waiting for. What would you say to someone who is asleep to wake them up? Let's imagine people saying Marcel is organizing a conference like he usually does.
I'm going. Or, what can you tell him so that he wakes up, so that he realizes that, well, he needs to?
I think he should continue to sleep until he gets hungry, because he isn't truly hungry yet. Because, in fact, when you are hungry, does someone tell you to go eat? Why should someone have to tell you that you need to get up? It's because you are still eating 2 or 3 times a day. You tell yourself life is good. Wait. It will come. I have known pain. I went 3 days without eating.
3 days without eating.
Yes, there wasn't any, because I don't like to ask either.
Yeah. When you go 3 days without eating,
that is when I understood that hunger cannot kill someone. So you have to stop saying, I'm hungry, and not working.
Yeah.
You have to go to work. People must go to work. Why should we have to go and ask them to wake up? Sleep, no worries. Sleep. It's not the right time yet.
exactly. You are in network marketing. I had the impression you're going to tell me what the people I've talked to told me, that what brings the most money is the fact, not of selling products, but of having many more people in your network.
I told you that the money you are looking for is in people's pockets. If you want money, don't look for money, but look for people.
Yes.
Because it is the people who have the money. It means that if you want to succeed in relationship marketing, you must have many contacts, you must have many people who will not only join your business opportunity, but also consume your products and services.
Ah, okay, I see. So it's about building your network first.
Yes.
Your consumer network.
Consumer, because you cannot talk about what you don't know. So the first step is that you consume. You consume. If you are satisfied, you talk about it. If you're not satisfied, no worries.
Move on.
Unfortunately, we even recruit those who are not satisfied and tell them what they should say.
Yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately, that doesn't always work. People will indeed join your network, but later when they realize it's difficult and you didn't prepare them from the start, they will quit because that's not what they came looking for.
They came looking for money. And yes, it's also true that very often we are led to believe. I've often had people contact me and say, I'd like you to join my network, you won't have to do anything.
And exactly, I understood what you said about notoriety and visibility.
Okay.
Not a week goes by without a new marketing person coming to make me a proposal. Some tell me you should be the African representative for our brand. You have great notoriety. You have a big team. And precisely, many people target influential people or who have notoriety, visibility, because they think that, well, as soon as people know that Valor is doing Longrich, everyone, because Valor is still someone who doesn't just get involved in anything. So if he does it, and so it means many people target you, except that when you start, you will realize that you have to talk to people every day. Every day, convince people every day.
Yeah.
You have to consume the products every day. You have to train yourself every day.
Yeah.
You will say, wait, what have you gotten me into? I don't have time for that. And so you are not the right target. I cannot prospect you.
Because precisely many people say, yeah, you won't have anything to do. You'll just have it done. There is a lot that you will have to do.
You will have a lot to do. If you don't do it, you will feel like it isn't working. I told you earlier that I believe if I have something, it's because I predisposed myself to have that thing. If I am not predisposed, I won't have it.
No one can earn money without having work. Why? Amen. Pastor, I need to open the church. I'm coming.
No one can earn money without having work. And if in network marketing they tell you that you won't have to do anything, they are lying. You will have work to do. Maybe you won't be prospecting directly. You might be forced to invest. If you don't invest, you will have to prospect. In both cases, you have to do something. You have to do something.
I hope the message got through clearly. And what can you tell us? What comment can you make regarding QNet?
I found out about QNet in, I think it was 2022. That was, no, 2022. Yes, it was in Chad. So it was a comment. I had read a note from President Idris Deby banning QNet in 2017 in Chad, and it piqued my curiosity. I did a lot of research. I realized that it is a company that has done more harm than good. Not because the products of this company are not good.
Yes.
I think the products of any network marketing company are very good products, having tried many.
Wait, can you repeat that? I think
the products of people who do network marketing are very good products. That's why it has a certain value.
yes.
I think the problem isn't the product or the company. The problem is the people who practice the activity. Very recently, there were scandals where people were taken to Ghana or Nigeria, locked up and told, "You are coming." I had one of my downlines who left and told me he had discovered an activity, an interesting opportunity. He is a civil engineering graduate. He told me he had to go there. They offered him work. He is going there. He will really, the contract is, it's serious. It's something excellent. He went to Ghana by road. He arrived there. They locked him in a room and told him to call other people. He told them to come too. And you have to get up in the morning, go sell our products, and come back in the evening. We have to train you and so on. That is the same path through which you arrived. You must allow other people to come. And when I saw that, I said to myself, this isn't QNet's technique. It's the technique of people who think that, well, this is their way of making money. QNet itself is a good company.
Yes, okay.
But QNet's leaders aren't doing what they should be doing. They aren't conveying the message of network marketing. So that's my opinion on that.
Because I'm asking the question because we've seen many of them.
And what is the largest amount you have earned doing network marketing?
For now, $10,200,000 each.
And how long?
It was a check.
You got a check for $10,200,000
Yes. I bought the car with it.
straight away.
Yes, it was for the car. The second car
It was for the second car.
was the second check. The first was $7,800,000. That was in 22. 10.2 million in 2023. It was a check that had nothing to do with my earnings, right? Okay. So it's just because I achieved with the team a turnover of 150 million in 1 year, and so that was the reward. Since it was a challenge, if you achieve 150 million, we'll give you.
Now I want to ask you a question you won't see coming.
Go ahead, I'm ready.
And my team members know it. But in general, people don't like these live questions.
So when you have so much notoriety, the money that goes with
You start to smell good. You have a whole team behind you that follows you. How's it going with women?
It's difficult.
Meaning, what is difficult?
Lots of covetousness. It comes.
Yes.
Of course.
You have people coveting you. You have women hitting on you.
Every day.
Every day? Every day.
First of all, I'm handsome.
First of all, you're Jonas.
First of all, I'm handsome. First of all, you're handsome. You Cameroonians, it's complicated. And I'd like that. We like little anecdotes like that. Now, what is the approach from women that stood out to you the most?
A woman who came to me one day to tell me she wants to have a child who looks like me.
Ah, okay. I see.
I know everything she wants from me. I give her a child, and then the rest doesn't concern me.
How did she tell you that? Over the phone, in person, how?
I said she came to tell me.
And how did you react to that?
I was just overwhelmed. And then afterwards, I told her it's not possible for me to have a child and then abandon it.
No.
That can't be done. And then we went our separate ways.
But yes, honestly. And you two, how do you refuse to give her such a gift?
I've brought up many experiences where it's only when you pass away that people realize who your true children were. And for me, I was in China. And one of the things that struck me there was a guide who told me they don't work for themselves, they work for 5 generations after them. I followed the story of KJ Photos, and I wish to have that type of generation. I want to have the type of generation where each of my children must be known, and we must know exactly what they do. I don't want, And what changes in you when you start earning money? I would say that when I start earning money, I start having more problems.
How so? The more money, the more problems?
I think those who are going to try, those who want to try to earn money must prepare to have more problems, that it's better they even stay poor because...
Sorry, the problems of the rich. What are these problems?
The first problem is that people will always be contacting you to ask for things.
Yeah.
Yes, because, you see, I have a lot of messages from people I post often on my status. People who will contact me and tell me recently, it was a cousin who contacted me and said, I have an idea. I want to build a daycare. I want to have a daycare, and all I'm missing is the funding.
Which is the essential part, right? Well, the only thing she has is the idea.
I told her congratulations and good luck.
Ah, yes.
That's it.
She didn't hold against me afterwards?
Well, naturally, it becomes a habit. The day I started having peace is the day I started saying no. Yes, because I was very weak and I would give until I'd forget that I needed to have some for myself. And it was when I lost my job that I realized people didn't love me. People loved the money I had. So that's a lesson I've kept. Now, it allows me to save a lot. And the fact that people think I'm into witchcraft is also a very good thing, because when you ask me, I remind you it's cult money. So it's better that you don't even touch it. Do you know that there are people who went as far as stopping or avoiding using the products from the brand just because they think that if they use them, I'll put them into something through the products? It's Africa. It's terrible. We have so many problems. Yes, too many problems, according to you. And you see, if you hadn't reached certain, I don't even consider myself rich yet. I have so much to do. If I hadn't reached a certain level of prosperity, I wouldn't have known all that.
Yeah. There it is. It comes with its share of problems.
It comes with its share of problems and a lot of problems. And then I realized that the more money you have, the more enormous your needs are. I was looking at my account yesterday. I said, but wait, how can I earn so much and not see any money? You see, because the more you sharpen your entrepreneurial appetite, the more you have to invest, and that's why many people around you don't understand you. Why is he so stingy? Why doesn't he give? Since he became this, he doesn't give anymore. He doesn't do anything anymore. Well, I'll give the day I have enough.
Yeah. And what is the advice you would give to someone who wishes to become rich, or at least wishes to have as much money as you? They must accept failure.
Yes. They must accept failure. Because if they don't fail, they won't know true wealth. Well, wealth has so many dimensions. If it's financial, they really have to learn to fail. That is unfortunately what we were not taught. And so each time at the first sign of difficulty, we give up. I told you about some of my failures. Here, you're talking about giving up.
Yes. At what point should you give up? Because at some point you stopped working as an electrician.
Yeah.
At what point should you give up?
There is a difference between quitting and giving up. So for me, giving up, I think if you haven't been doing the same activity for at least 10 years, you can't say that you've managed to understand why it isn't working.
But 10 years is a long time.
Compared to what?
Long compared to the time it takes to succeed. 10 years in an activity that isn't working. I'm gonna share something, and now you tell me. And imagine that
Your daughter.
Yes.
Is with a man. A man who makes music.
Yeah.
And for 4, 5, 6 years, nothing comes of it. What do you tell your daughter? What do you tell that man?
I'll take 2 cases.
Colonel Sanders. No, leave those American stories alone. No, leave that, because we won't agree on those stories, because those stories they made up. That's just storytelling. That's just story. I don't believe in that. Do you at least believe the story of Ford?
Yes. You wrote a book, The Way of.
The Way. I think I'm one of the rare people who...
I actually discovered that book on a used book site. When you read this man's journey, don't you think resilience is the most powerful weapon for entrepreneurs?
Resilience, yes.
That's why I say you can't give up until a certain point. You can't give up just because you've done 10 years of activity. 10 years, what is that? Me, I did 12 years of activity. I spent 12 years in a company. I was the one who signed everything. The boss could leave and give me power of attorney, and I lost my job overnight. He told me that, well, that's enough for you. Because he thought his son was ready. Does that mean I didn't have the competence? Now that I've had this experience, I know how to behave with the people who will come to work with me so that they don't follow, they don't experience this type of end. So what I can tell someone, firstly I say, you must not give up.
Yeah.
Secondly, you must have someone who didn't give up and who reached the goal you wish to reach.
That is powerful, that.
Because these are people who know the path.
Yes, that's true.
And it allows you to have a shortcut. Unfortunately, people don't want to be mentored.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yes, they just want, well, they tell themselves they know they have mastered it and then everyone wants to do their own thing. So as I say, everyone will learn through pain.
Mentoring is super important. So anyway, the secret of leaders. Because you're saying that, but it makes total sense because Claudel, who is my mentor, it's happened several times that I have situations, I write to him, I tell him, man, how do I handle this? And in 2 minutes, he's solved the problem, you see.
Because these are situations he has already encountered.
I work with him. I've done a lot of, we've gone to many places together, and every time I shared a difficulty with him precisely, he would call me back. And very recently we were talking because I have one of my landlords who started to bother me, and I was telling him, I'm done. I arrived. I find a house. I start making improvements, and before making improvements, I tell the landlord that, well, I want to do such and such at such a place. He says, no, take the house as your own.
I start fixing it up. He sees it's very beautiful. He starts saying that, well, the rent has to go up. We need to increase the rent, of course.
And Claudel, from experience, tells me, my friend, when you enter someone's house, never add anything. Because as soon as you add something, your problems begin. Why? Because he has done a lot of renting.
But yes.
And it always ended in a certain way. So it is impossible to succeed in a field without identifying with and being advised by someone. It's just too impossible.
Now we are talking about mentoring.
How do you find a mentor? Secondly, how do we make sure this mentor takes an interest in us?
I started with Claudel. How did he discover me? The first thing that drew me to him is that one day I watched a video where he talks about religion. And it's a message that really touches me because I think the same way. So I start following him. I find him very interesting. I ask myself the question, how do I connect with this person? First, I start buying SN items. Next, I buy his training courses. I buy everything he sells until he himself says, who is this guy? Anyway, you see, that's how we started to connect. I identified someone who had something I didn't have, and I sowed into his life.
What you're saying there is very important.
Then, he discovered me and realized that I have something he doesn't have. The connection is complete.
You see right there, you triggered something powerful for me, and that's what I'm killing myself trying to explain to people.
It's that we don't go, the secret to networking is giving.
Of course.
We don't go to take.
Yes, it's the most powerful form of selling. When they say in the Bible that offering, giving, is receiving tenfold, it's not, it's everywhere. In the village, they talk about sadaqah. Some even say that when you get your first salary, take a portion first and feed people with it. It's because people don't understand. Many people come with projects, they present them to you, the project is good, it's really good. When you read it, you really want to support them.
It works very well in Excel.
Now, how much do you have? The project you're presenting to me there, you want me to help you? How much do you have? Big brother, as you see me here, I have nothing.
How then?
It's your project, it carries your soul. If I put in all my money, it means it becomes my project. It's me who must say how it should work.
Exactly.
But why do you want to cry later when your project has been taken over? It wasn't for you, actually. You have to give.
I very, very often hear the guest who was just before you said that entrepreneurship rhymes with prison.
Yes.
Has anyone ever filed a complaint against you?
Yes, that was my landlord, but that's not a problem. It wasn't a problem. But a complaint because I made a deal that didn't work out. No, and maybe that's my luck in network marketing, is that generally it's not my products that I'm selling.
Yes.
They are products, and I don't promote healing, unfortunately, like many people do. This supplement or that dietary supplement will cure all your problems. A dietary supplement for me is just a complete supplement. It's just so you can have a better, or it's much more preventative. If you're already sick, go to the hospital. Don't come to me.
Oh, well, that honesty is good, though.
Anyway, it's not for everyone, because I see marketing differently. I see marketing as an activity for people who like to help people. If you don't like helping someone, you shouldn't do network marketing.
What is the place of God in business for you?
We're talking about God as spiritual religion.
I'll let you define it. You're the one who defines what God is for you.
For me, it's spiritual. For me, it's my ability to know or to believe that I am capable of everything. That I am the light. That means I don't go looking for God somewhere else. God is within me. So I am God.
Isn't it pretentious to say that? To say that you are God?
Well, I'm the one saying it.
That's what I say.
If you find it pretentious, that's what you think. I think that I am God. And you can't prove the contrary to me, because he lives and he acts within me. I am made in his likeness.
The definition we have of God is that God is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. Are you omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent?
It depends.
I'm asking the question. Depends on what?
For example, if you read my book while in Burkina Faso, am I with you?
No, it's not you who is with me. It's your book that is with me.
Isn't it me in spirit?
If someone is in Haiti, can they have your book all the time?
Okay.
How so?
It's on Chariot?
Yes, it's on Chariot.
PDF for.
While God, we connect to the source directly.
I say that he is within me. That means the connection happens within myself.
Except you have to pay to get the book.
Of course.
So we pay to connect to God.
When you go to church, you give an offering there.
No, but
you've already been baptized, you didn't pay.
Even if you don't pay, will that stop me from connecting you to God? And why is it that at church we pay? We pay because it's the tithe. That's what religion dictates. What do you mean? Who said that?
It is written in the Holy Scriptures.
But who wrote that?
All people inspired by God.
Now, when you look at the Christian environment, who is the richest?
Well, it's the men of God, the pastors, the priests.
Why must he be rich while he is the one carrying my prayer and his?
But he must be rich because he's God's representative?
And I, who am a son of man, I am not rich. Why?
Because you don't represent God enough. You don't have the faith needed to become or to stay rich enough.
Well, let me give you another example. You know the people who give the most to the church, where do they sit?
They say they're at the front.
They say, you haven't gone yet. I have already been. I've already been because I want to see things, I want to understand things. I went to a church, and it was a stage scene. Someone we had invited from far away came, and they said he had the gift of finance. Yes, and so during the prayer, he says, everyone first. We start by passing out envelopes to everyone. Then they say that
They hand out envelopes.
they say the first people who put 70,000 in the envelope, they come to the front, they get a special prayer.
Wow, incredible.
Well, I see, he says he wants 10 people. Yeah. He says, I don't know if people understand the power of marketing in the church. Because if you practice that in your business, oh yes, no, my friend.
We're gonna open a church, Mike.
He says the first people who come is 60. I want 10 people up here at the front. There are people coming up timidly. Listen to the number 7. He starts explaining. While he is explaining, people just keep coming. He explains the people just keep coming. It went over 15. Oh yes. We do the math. Does the special prayer. Guys leave. He says, okay. Those who will come then with 7,000 francs. He started at 700,000. Then he said 70,000. Then he says 7,000 francs. I was using this example of the church or what happens in churches to say that normally everyone should seek their own God. Everyone should seek their God within themselves. Everyone should practice. And I consider religion different from spirituality. And I practice spirituality. It's hard for you to hear me say amen because, well, I consider that for me to say amen, I must be very sure of exactly what I am saying. Yes. At church, more and more, what I like about these things is that they do teach. They tell people to go and get money before coming to donate it. Yes. 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 So now we have started a bit. It's starting to get interesting. But for me, seek your God within you. Do what you have to do without harming others. Always by respecting the laws of nature. Because if you respect the laws of nature, nature will give you what you want.
Now that we are talking about that, I am obliged to ask the question,
There is a phrase that says,
religion is the opium of the people. Agree or disagree? You know, we are in an environment where people, first of all, school has done us so much harm. Then people try to find solutions. They can't. Many blame the government. And finally, religion comes as an answer to avoid. Nature abhors a vacuum. People take refuge there because when they listen to the word, they are, for the time it lasts, a little calmer. So it eases their tension. So religion is like, not like opium, like a drug that will just come to veil the difficulties you have until you return to reality. Because tomorrow when you're hungry, you'll remember that what the pastor said, all this time it hasn't worked, and you'll go and seek it out. I once gave a lecture and I told people to close their eyes. They closed them. I told them, okay, you are in a room, everything is dark, closed, you have a rosary in your hand, you start your prayer, you pray with your soul, with your body, with your heart. And as soon as you finish the prayer, you turn on lights, you go outside and you see a Range Rover parked there. You're going to get in it. People said no. I said, well, when you were praying, you were asking for the Range Rover. There's the Range Rover. Get in it. They said, is it witchcraft or what? So you don't believe? You don't believe in the project! That's a very, very good example. See, it allows you to understand that when you have finished praying, you must go and get what you ask God for yourself, because the beautiful thing He gave you is a well-constituted body, hands, feet, a well-oxygenated brain. But you still ask Him to perform a miracle in your life. He has already performed the miracle, because there are people who have no hands, who have no feet, who are international speakers.
And God alone knows how complex it is. You see?
To have a hand. But there are people who are submissive, who are blind. You have all your faculties and you are waiting for a miracle from God. The miracle was already performed in your life when you were born. Out of the 7 million, 1 million sperm, you were the only one who came out. Now you have to fight to earn your place. Did God not already give you everything? That's true. I totally agree with you. We are coming to the end of this podcast.
And if there is one last question I would like to ask you, it is this one. Let's imagine you have to go to a restaurant.
And you have to dine with 3 people. Who'd you invite? I really want Elon to explain to me how he managed to be the richest man. No, he has to be at the table.
Mm-hmm.
I want God to be at the table. Is it you, God, already? But, sir, let me explain. When I say God, it's the one who has done us a lot of harm. He should be at the table to explain why we are in this situation.
What situation?
I want that. I also want whoever created school, it's not... No, wait, let's finish with God first. You say the situation. What situation? The situation where churches are more packed than conference halls. And I want whoever created school to be at the table to tell us why they did us so much harm. Oh, really? Yes. How so? Do you realize that today someone after 7 years of study after high school finishes their studies and artificial intelligence has replaced them? Do you realize that there are prompts that can do in 15 seconds what someone with 7 years of study learned to do and doesn't know how to do? Do you realize that today what we are teaching our children has nothing to do with the reality of 2030? Yes, that's true. No, why do you even say 2030? It's very serious what is happening right now. I had CMs and I was community managers, for those who don't understand. Yes, I was in the process of hiring 10 more for the project I'm launching. I realized that Facebook has an automation that allows you to reply to messages, to reply to comments. And when I activated this automation, I realized that the CM is absolutely useless to me, because since I tell them, reply to comments when it's interesting, go to eBay with the person on Messenger, close the deal, you sell when the time comes to do it. Here is an artificial intelligence that replaces them. Do you realize that in the entire school curriculum, there is no artificial intelligence in the curriculum?
They even still say it's fake. I don't even know what we are. What are we in? Meaning that when I see my children succeeding in school, we celebrate their success. This is going to end badly.
I want these people to say what their project was. Did they foresee that they should W? They didn't foresee it. Why is it that today, well, you do remember that the school we teach today hasn't been valid since the 90s. Yes, of course. Well, that's the context of Africa especially, isn't it? What is happening? Why aren't we in the process of changing things? You have to ask the politicians. That is the question I would like to ask the people who make the programs and everything. So why do I choose these 3 people? Firstly, because I aspire to wealth, exponential wealth. Secondly, because I want to stop people from being alienated by religions. And thirdly, because I would like the education system to be wiped out so we can start from scratch.
Let's imagine Paul Biya sitting across from you. What would you like to tell him?
For him to go and rest. He has truly given a lot. Now, it is time for him to take some time to rest.
Because
wise people should normally be seated to advise younger people on what needs to be done. Even if he has a great vision, he should sit down and tell someone else to execute his vision, because the more we see him, the less interesting he becomes.
let's imagine you have Jesus Christ in front of you. What would you say to him?
First of all, he will never be in front of me, since I do not believe in him. I don't even believe he existed.
Okay, I see.
He will never be in front of me. It would be very difficult for that to happen. I think it is a scenario that was staged. Because I told you beforehand that for me, spirituality is different from religion. And then, as an African, I don't know if we realize it, but I was at the National Museum of Chad.
Yes.
And in the National Museum of Chad, there is Toumaï. And Toumaï is 7 million years old.
I don't know if people realize what that represents.
And how old is Jesus Christ?
26 years.
Before Jesus Christ, there was Toumaï. And Toumaï is found in Chad, in Africa. I don't know if you understand the significance of this message. So I believe more in African spirituality than everything they brought to us. And I think that is even the essence of the spirituality of humanity.
Why should a person read this book? One reason?
We have been lied to too much regarding network marketing in Africa.
Yes.
And I restore the truth in this book.
So guys, the secret of leaders is the truth that is restored here. So it is the Bible.
Yeah. Since he is the God of ML, he wrote your Bible. Guys, the book is right here. Oh yes, you can reach him at +237 697 2657 45. I repeat, +237 97 2657 45. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this, let us know in the comments if you want Marcel to be a speaker for the 2026 Writers Weekend in Yaoundé at the Starland Hotel. And of course, as I told you, this year, it's a talk show. And based on the speakers, we will define the themes for the different talk shows. Marcel, your camera's right there. I'll leave the final word to you.
Well, the final word is a scenario. Two people who have a grave, one is dead, the other deceased. And they both have a grave. For one, generally, when we pass by, we are reminded that someone was buried there. For the other, when we pass by, it is obvious that someone was buried there. Which side do you want to be on? The one we bury and forget, or the one we would like to be reminded of every time we see their grave that someone was buried here? It is up to you to choose.
Everyone will choose how they will be buried. All right, team. We are together like in December, and we resemble each other, Minano. There we go.
Elite Pen, the program from Argent Livres Publishing that turns your dream into reality. In 28 days, we guide you through writing your book. Then we handle the publishing and promotion. Join us and share your story with the world. Go to argentlevr.com.